This is According to Callus, and you are now joining me for episode number 4 of You Might Be a Statist If. Well, this is the remaining episode that was pre-recorded back in the archives of 2021 when I've dug it up. And now, just because you've been following along, you know that Friday will be all new material. Going to get it in at less than 10 minutes. I want people to enjoy their time with friends and family, but I also know that both weekends are travel weekends, and I want to give you something fun and enjoyable to listen to quickly and to find it enjoyable for your holidays. Until we get back at the beginning of next year, and once again, if you are looking to fast forward it, it is too late. Here it comes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is According to Callus, and this is going to be You Might Be a Statist, number 4. Yes, you might be a statist if the following things apply to you. Here we go. Number 1, you want the feds to rule over everything. Yes, you might be a statist. I know it's tough to believe, but there is a constitution at the federal level created by the states that tell the federal government just what their authority is and is not. And that does not include being able to do whatever they want, whenever they want, no matter what you think the Supremacy Clause says. Number 2, you might be a statist if you are mad that SCOTUS, for those of you that don't know, that's Supreme Court of the United States, stopped the Biden administration from using OSHA to implement requirements on large businesses to force medical procedures on unwilling participants. Unfortunately, I'm sure you're also thrilled to death that they can do it to medical and i.e. healthcare workers that are not directly in the medical field. I'm sure your heart is warm over that, but I will tell you that if you have the right to force medical procedures on people, you also have the right to not provide medical procedures to people. Think about that one for a moment. Is that really the future you wanted for your children? Number 3, you think that locking up the protesters of the January 6th event is a good idea, and you're saving the country and the entire world. Indeed, they must stay in solitary confinement and not be able to get to see their attorneys or their families because, well, that was the most terrible thing that ever happened in the entire world. I can't believe that such a terrible thing happened. Yeah, you might be a statist. Number 4, you think that lockdowns are productive. Yes, friends, if you think that doing a lockdown is productive, i.e. we all benefit in the long term, then you might just be a statist because you don't know basic economics, basic civil liberties, or quite frankly, what the hell the Constitution is. Oh, I'm sorry, did I just say a bad word? Yes, well, then you would be a statist. Number 5. You think the children, including your children, belong to the state. And by the state, I'm putting up the air quotes because it really doesn't matter. Anybody other than their family or appropriate people that have guardianship are the ones that are responsible for children, not any level of government. Yet, there are some of us out there that think it is somehow a positive and a good thing that government tells us how to raise our children, indeed, raises our children for us, i.e., the government school system, or government-run orphanages, or government-run alternative schooling sites, or anything else where they get to step in and tell you how to raise your child. Now, that does not excuse abusing your child. If you're beating your child with a stick, you're a bad parent, and somebody else in your family ought to take the stick and beat you with it. If you are locking your child in a closet and not feeding them, then you clearly are not taking care of your child, and again, somebody else in your family or your church or your local co-op or whatever ought to do the same to you and see how you like it. But if you think that the state is better suited to raise your children, you might indeed be a statist, because we have seen how well that has worked out in Nazi Germany, Soviet Russia, Soviet China, yes, or even all the madrasas. I said another naughty word. I hope nobody comes looking for me. But the reality is, you are responsible for your children, and if you're going to have children, you ought to figure out how you're going to take care of them, even if that means you have to move in with Grandma and Grandpa to get things figured out. Then you must do it, because your first and most important primary goal in life is, 1, take care of your family. So, if you answered or think positively about any of those things that I laid out, yes, ladies and gentlemen, you might just be a statist. Well, that was the 4th of the You Might Be a Statist monologues, and I will see you on the other side.